The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Your favorite spot is ready for you at our table in the shed. Join us as Kalam'Te and Truk find their way out of the chasm. We have an impending interview at tribality.com, so keep an eye out this week. We'll leave a link in the show notes. Enjoy the podcast. Hi, and welcome to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com on Facebook, iTunes, Twitter, Stitcher Radio, Google+, Bing, Yahoo, all kinds of stuff. We're going to go around the table and say hi, starting with...
Hi, everyone. This is Mickie. I play Nessalus, the tiefling.
JJ here, playing Kalam'Te, the Paladin of Commerce. Mm-hmm.
The POC.
Hey, good to hear you again. It's Kurt. I am playing Truk, the monk-like fighter with a little bit of druid in him.
Hi guys, this is Brittany. I'm playing Elena, the human Pal Barfy.
And I am Joe. I am the game master for our Dungeon World campaign set in the world of Alamand. Before we get this episode kicked off, one of our cast members, Kurt, spent some time with another podcast. You want to tell us about it?
Yeah, briefly, if you can believe it, I've recently been a guest star, if you will, for 5 or 6 episodes on a relatively new podcast called The Dungeoneers, in which several of my friends played Dungeon World together. It's got a pretty different vibe from our shed adventures, but it's a nice group of guys. You might want to check it out, if only to hear me play a somewhat kind-hearted gnoll named Moonshine.
Cool.
But also, haven't like half of the cast members there been guest stars on this show?
They have. There's definitely some crossover.
That's a good point, yeah. We are going to get a recap of our last episode from the one and only Brittany.
Yay! So we started off somewhere in the fight with the Naga with this episode.
Sounds about right.
And basically, there was the cage spell?
Mm-hmm. Force cage.
What is it?
Force cage.
Force cage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she puts up her force shield. She's awesome.
Cage. Which Nessalus put up to try to protect us, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the brilliant idea to try to splash all of the Naga with lamp oil. Was that in the previous
And light them on
that
fire.
happened.
I'm
yeah.
going to keep going with that anyways.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Try to light them on fire.
Yeah. Well, then the fireball missed.
Yeah, that happened.
You cast fireball, and then he tried to...
And then he tried to control it.
And then Truk tried to reroute it once it missed, and it basically ended up blowing everything up. Everyone died.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, the DM's got a few negative holds he can work with later.
A few.
Yeah, we got some stuff.
I believe that whole fight could be summed up with light 'em up, light 'em up, light 'em up. I'm on fire!
There were some people on fire, specifically Elena.
Elena was on... Everyone was on
was.
fire.
At one point.
At one point or another.
So what happened after the
then
fire?
we ended up defeating all of the Naga in the inner circle, so then it just left the Naga on the outer circle. And so everyone had a different approach to that, and nobody really tried to talk about it beforehand.
Nah, man. Green Lantern that bitch.
Pretty much she did.
Wiped them all
So-
across.
Kalam'Te went up to try to hand-to-hand beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Yay, curse words. Truk decided he was going to open up the earth behind them, and Nessalus decided to try to force push them in with the same
A clever
cage.
use of the force cage.
Yes.
Okay. Long story short, Kalam'Te fell in the hole. Yay!
Yeah. And the episode title for that was Down in a Hole. So that's how
Kalam'Te
we
fell down
ended
the
up.
hole.
At the end of that episode, Nessalus had told Truk that he started this mess. He'd better go
get
find Kalam'Te. And we ended with
Yes,
him
ma'am.
descending. Truk was descending. He was about 15 feet below the surface, and the earth started to close over him. And that's where we are right now. So Kalam'Te is down in the hole. You still have probably a minor bit of that telepathic link between Nessalus and Kalam'Te. And Truk is lowering down into the hole, holding onto that. Let's say it's the standard issue 50-foot rope, and you're about 20 feet into the rope right now. And I don't know if Elena's up there cheering him on or anything, but she's there.
She's bardically inspiring him to climb nicely.
I believe that's
I think
right.
I
I
did
thought
that.
there was something like that happening. So here we
saying
go,
something
Truk.
like, "Holy shit, I'm the bard. I can do things."
Exactly. Truk, what's
I am moving down this rope as quickly as I can, somewhat cautiously since I'm not the strongest of dudes. I'm a little worried about my grip strength and all that. It's a long way down. But I'm moving down as quickly as I can, and I'm yelling down below me because I can't see at the same time as I'm climbing, yelling for Kalam'Te to see if I get any response from him.
So, Kalam'Te, you
Yeah.
hear Truk shout your name, and just as you are about to respond, you have the air knocked out of you as you finally hit solid ground.
Oh. Woof. Yeah, you hear the rattle of plate. Sound like a getting can crushing sort of sound. Hit the bottom.
So if he just hit the bottom, how much ahead of my going in did he start falling?
Well, now that a lot of the sound has cleared, there was probably plenty of the sound. There was a sound of rocks falling and the earth opening and all that. And now the earth started closing again. But a lot of those sounds was probably him hitting the sides and trying to slow his descent as he went down.
Well,
Finally he's gotten to the point where he's fallen. By the sound of things, even though the earth is starting to close again, there's a cacophony there. It sounds like he's probably only maybe 30 feet below you.
Oh, okay. Good.
It
Not
sounds
2,000
like
feet.
the rope might reach.
Okay. Well, in that case,
Yeah, because I'm going to pretend you guys acted quickly rather than the way the players acted.
Right.
We'll say the characters acted quickly.
I mean, I don't know what else to do other than just to keep scurrying down there to try to get to him as quickly as possible.
Okay, what are you doing about the earth closing? There's not enough time to get down there and get back up. And this is true for everybody.
Yeah.
The earth is closing. You know, based on Truk is just at the edge of your vision, if you can see in the dark, which I believe Nessalus can.
Yeah.
You can see down there now that right as things are clearing, even though the earth is starting to close back in, it's actually pushing some of that dust out. You can see that Kalam'Te is probably about 40 feet down, and Truk is nowhere near close to him, considering that the earth is probably going to be closed up in about 15, 20 seconds by the speed it's going.
Well, I would think that I cannot cast anything while I have both hands on a rope.
Why not? Do you not just need a connection with the earth where
Well,
your feet are probably touching?
I also think that what I would probably want to try to cast is Elemental Mastery, but that has now been downgraded to Elementary. What the fuck are you doing, Truk?
Elemental amateur relief.
And so I think that may.
You know, actually,
Not
you
be
probably
the best
qualify
use.
as an elemental apprentice at this point instead of a master.
I don't know.
That could be
I'm
it.
like the dark side of Elemental Mastery.
But somebody's going to have to do something, or you're both going to get crushed in the earth.
Can I use Force Cage again?
I don't see why not.
Force Cage!
Assuming you still had
Some
it and it
sort
wasn't
of-
forgotten, I'm pretty sure you still had it.
Some sort of, tube
Okay.
so that I get both Truk
Think a
and
straw.
Yeah.
Kalam'Te.
A
Something
straw
like
in the
a
earth.
cylinder. You're going to make the world's first elevator.
The first. Well, at least, so that they don't get crushed.
I'm
and
thinking an elevator shaft, and they're
Yeah.
going to be in it.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking like a rock condom.
It's a rondom.
That too.
A random random.
All right, so Truk, you're still going to need to be doing something. Just expediting as fast as you can.
I guess I would try to cast Elemental Mastery because at this point it can't get much worse, right?
When Nessalus, of course it can. When Nessalus casts Cage, has there been something, an audible component that Truk would recognize as you start to cast your spell?
Imagine you would feel like, you know how when you get on an airplane and they pressurize the cabin? That feeling that you get in your ears? Just whoop.
So you're getting a familiar feeling. You've been in the
I have that
cage
feeling all the time
personally
right now.
a couple of times now. So you may want to hold off as you notice Nessalus is starting something, or you do what you like. But in the meantime, let's get a roll from you, Mickie, for cast a spell.
Cast a spell.
Are you going to sing all of your spells today? 'Cause
That
that'd be
would
I
be
think I
awesome.
shall.
It's an 8.
It's
I'll
plus
cast
intelligence, right? An 8.
Elemental
An 8.
Mastery.
Okay, so you have to pick something from your 7 to 9.
Blah, blah. Let's draw unwelcome attention.
And I will warn you, and I wanted to start off this episode, I completely forgot, with mentioning something about the failures and what have you. So we're going to take a short break from the action, and I want to describe. One of the things in Dungeon World, when you're playing and there's a failure, that failure can be used to change something in the world and allow the action to still proceed. So you guys may remember there's been plenty of failures where I've said I'm going to hold on to that failure for now. As we're nearing the end of our campaign, things that are going to be set up when you arrive are going to be things that are a result of a previous failure. One example is something like maybe you're, an example in the Dungeon World terms, maybe you're rushing to save somebody from a trap or something like that, and you fail. And it's, let me start over. You're rushing to save somebody, something's going to happen tomorrow, and you fail a roll in the meantime. We can make it so that you continue with what you were doing, but you arrive too late. You didn't get there to save them. So the failure isn't something that happened now, but it's something that affects an end result. With that in mind, there will be things that come up, and I will tell you that the more you seek unwelcome attention, it's going to be worse as we near the end of the campaign. I just want to give you that as a warning.
Okay.
All right. In the meantime, you cast the force cage, and it strains under the weight of the earth. It still looks like you will have to get out as quick as you can.
Hurry up. I can't hold it very much longer.
So Truk reaches down. It's at the very end of the rope. You actually you can't reach the rope from where your feet would touch the ground. You would have to jump up to grab it. You need a good 1 foot vertical.
Right. So, since Kalam'Te is the paladin of commerce, this is where I'm going to say, hey, I got a rope for a million gold.
Just tell
Which
him,
I know he will respect completely, and I'm hoping may help him see the world a little bit more like me.
You can tell him there are 10 coins at the top of the rope.
I respect that. Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I don't have that on me right now, but I owe you.
You're good for it?
I owe you.
All right.
And the edges of the force cage sound like they're starting to crack under the weight of the entire earth trying to come back together.
All right, so I will attempt to jump and grab onto the rope.
Okay. You grab onto the rope, and
This
you
is
head up.
when I wish I had learned shape.
Because you are in definite danger at this point, I will ask you to describe to me how you are getting out so that we can have a roll to defy this danger of being crushed.
Hand over hand as fast as I can.
Sounds to me like, what would you want to do that? Strength?
Yeah, strength.
Let's do strength.
Strength or agility?
Strength.
Strength.
I don't think he's got a good dexterity number. What you got?
10.
10. All right. So, Truk,
Yes.
you can tell under the weight of Kalam'Te pulling himself up quickly, there's no way the rope would support both of you. So you're going to have to wait for him to go up. But he's going up very quickly. Quicker than a man in full plate should.
I'll wait for a million gold.
Seriously? Truk, you better climb up fast.
Okay. And at this point, Kalam'Te gets up to the top, and as soon as he lets his weight off of the rope, you see it slack. You do. You're going to...
I'm going to assist by pulling on the rope as well.
All right. So do an aid roll.
Right. So I'm actually going to, if it works
Yeah.
with this, am I in the cage?
Yeah.
In the cylinder.
You're in a cylinder, and you can feel the earth starting to break through the magic of of Nessalus.
Is it solid, the cage? Like, can I do super, dexterous, jumping off the sides of the cage with the rope?
So you want to do like
You
Spider-Man?
sure
Is
can.
there behind it, so
You sure can.
Because that's what I would do. Because I'm more dexterous than strong, so I want to use the
All right,
cage.
so I have an 11 to pull
So
the rope.
you get a
so
plus 1.
You see the rope, disappearing as you Billy go up the cage.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's pulling you up while you're climbing up. You get a +1 to your roll, and go ahead and use dexterity.
Oh yeah, he's like rappelling basically,
Yeah.
like running up the side of the wall, holding onto the rope.
I rolled
You get a plus
5, but +1 is 6, plus dex is... +3 is the max on
Yep.
this?
Yep.
So 9.
9. Okay.
Could have been worse.
It could have. So
What were we doing? Was that a... What was I rolling?
That was a defy danger using your dexterity. You have danger of getting crushed. So you did not get crushed. Aside from the staff, what else does Truk have with him?
His pants?
I'm not going to make you
Lose
lose
him.
your pants.
His
But
vest?
he doesn't have anything else at this time.
No, I would have... I have
He
a
still
short
has
sword.
the special Sharuk and
That's a good point.
awesome.
Yeah. Not that we were ever going to remember that and bring it up,
true,
but
but-
those things that you spent the money for,
Oh, yeah,
Um,
that thing.
As you are making your way up, things start falling off of you. A trinket that you had there, another thing that you may have had tied to your waistband or something, and then that pouch with the shuriken falls down. And
no, my Shuriken.
yes, But you make
All right,
it to the
that's
top.
right. As long as I'm getting to the top.
Yes.
Because I can buy more shuriken with 1,000,000 gold pieces.
You sure can. What I'd like to see is the price of that rope keep going up.
I would like to cross off one of my bonds now. Says Truk has seen the true way.
Very nice.
Go for it. I mean, that'll happen end of session, but make a note that will have been.
Because
Yeah.
I haven't
not?
really. I'm being sarcastic.
Of course.
he doesn't think that.
But that's something that at the end of session, which I think we may do at the end of this hour, we may do an end of session, and that's something we should talk about because I'd like to do one more level perhaps before we try and finish up the campaign. All right, everyone gets out. And remember now, around you... So first, the earth finishes closing, and Nestless, before you even have a chance to drop the spell, it crushes, and for the first time you get this...
I get the reverb.
This like, feedback of your spell being stopped without you wanting it stopped. And what I'm going to give you
Psychic
for that...
backlash.
It's the exact.
And this is... So that's the
backlash.
unwanted attention. The earth crushed your magic. And that's going to cause you to be... I got to remember what the number... Or what the thing is here. On your sheet, you're going to have this condition. It is stunned. It's the intelligence condition. That means you have a -1 to intelligence until you can shake that. Find a way to get around it.
See, that seems weird. It should be stupefied.
Okay, then you are stupefied, but check off the stunned thing.
Can I just throw in a little aside here?
You sure
For
can.
the people listening at home, you think we've got it all together.
Yeah, right.
We're here, we're recording, we're serious gamers. There's no alcohol on the table at all.
Well, it's on that table.
Because it's on the other table.
We haven't drank any alcohol yet,
here.
but we have 1 pencil for 5 people.
Oh, here you go. You know what? I brought them all in because last Saturday, Brittany and her sister were supposed to come play D&D, and that never happened.
I'm like looking around frantically for a
Yes.
pencil. All right, now back to it.
And I have another one over here if anyone needs one too.
Awesome.
And
pencils.
so outside of this area, Nestless gets that shock, that stun back. Nature wasn't pleased with you trying to reduce its effort to reclaim its own, as it were. That was nature's cost. But around you are still some burning snakes. It might smell good. For
Hey, it's
anyone.
breakfast.
Yeah.
It tastes like chicken.
And the area itself is definitely battle-scarred. And you still have your goal of getting to the Empire of Emarash.
And we have to proceed quickly because there was a group that left ahead of us
Shit's
to
happening.
warn
Yeah, there was some Naga that went ahead to warn the
The
Emperor.
because of my brilliant idea of pretending to be his daughter.
So we have probably another day-ish of travel.
Okay.
So I will ask that we undertake another perilous journey because you guys are definitely hunted, perhaps, at this time.
Is there
you are not
ever-
in a good shape.
Ever a journey in Dungeon World that's not perilous?
Pretty much...
Whenever you go to your mom's house.
I was going to say
If I went to your mom's, it would be perilous. But my mom's
the bidet room in Wint is not a perilous journey. Now, for
I don't know.
for
Perilous for the
Nestless,
toilet.
for
Punch
Nestless
it in the
learning
face.
Dominate wasn't a perilous journey, but for her target it was. Right, so it's one of those.
It's all relative.
Unfortunately for Elena, walking down the street was a perilous journey, and she, went into a coma. Go figure.
Pencils.
All right, so do we need to do rolls?
Yes, I'd like to have you guys do your Undertake a Perilous Journey, which is on the back of the basic move sheet. There's copies of it right here on the clipboard.
I did pretty good at scouting ahead last
You're going to scout ahead?
I'm going to do the
it's-
quartermaster
You're going to
thing.
be quartermaster?
It's all wisdom,
So,
and I want the scout
Truk.
scout first, then the trailblazer, then the quartermaster.
As
Oh.
part
do
of
you want to be trailblazer?
I wasn't very good at trailblazing. Didn't I get us lost?
Do you want me to be trailblazer?
No, you have the wisdom. She does not have any
I
wisdom.
don't have any wisdom.
Oh, that's true. You're not.
Well,
very
no, I'm +2 wisdom. What are you?
Yeah, so
Plus three.
there.
Yeah, so you're the trailblazer.
Okay.
All right.
And Nestless
so
sits
scout.
back and relaxes.
Let's see what our scout ends up with.
8.
8, okay. And next is the trailblazer. Truk.
5 plus 3 is 8.
Okay. And then the quartermaster.
With an 11.
An 11. All right.
As part of my divvying out the supplies, I
and-
pass a contract to...
Nice.
It says,
I owe you. JJ has passed a physical piece of paper to Kurt with the letters I owe you written on it. It should say I owe you 1 million.
yeah. Okay.
1 million gold.
Right.
1 million gold.
Yeah.
You
And,
can pay it in Electrum if you want.
Electrum. The The other thing I'm curious of for Kalam'Te is we had established before that he's familiar with cooking of some type.
I initialized my addendum as well.
Preparation of meals, what have you. Is it like, do you grab some of the snake or something to...
Yeah, yeah.
'cause you've done the best
I actually
here.
have a... I saw some mint and some wild peppers. So
Nice.
I make a peppery mint sauce and flavor the
How'd that
naga
happen?
with that.
While you were fighting off Naga, ooh, there's some mint.
Always, you had to be
Swing,
aware
swing,
of your prospects.
swing. Ooh, peppers.
I'm also thinking, too, while he's climbing up that rope, he sees some special root sticking out of the ground. He grabs that. Why not?
mushrooms.
Yes.
Ooh, this is super rare.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, Truk's like, man, that smells really good, but I could sure go for some curry.
Jackass.
During the day and a half trip back, you notice off in the woods there are a lot of shadows that should not be there. Because of the scout roll was an 8, you can't determine what they are just by glancing. It would involve further investigation. So if anybody wants to try and figure out, Elena, it's up to you to report it too. As the scout, you notice where there should not be shadows. It's one of those where you glance and you're sure somebody's standing over there. But when you look, there's nothing
I've
there.
had to double take a lot of times.
Yeah. Over the full day of travel.
Suspicious amount of times.
Yes.
Not just I'm paranoid amount of times.
There you go.
That's exactly how I worded that.
Had to glance.
Periphery.
Use your peripherals. Now what?
Yeah, does anyone want to do anything about it or just continue?
Do you tell us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just like that.
What do you guys think?
just like that.
Do we check it out? Or do we just keep going?
I think it behooves us to try to reach Amarash as quickly as possible.
Why don't you ever just speak straight?
I was going to say blah, 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 do we look or not?
I implore thee to speaketh in a straight manner.
It's, what, Ferris?
I mean, there's a good chance that they're shadow demons or something related to shadow demons. At this point, that's old hat. I think we should just keep rolling.
Yeah.
All right, roll on through.
I mean, we know they're going to be around.
Roll Tide.
And with that, part of the reason why we're going to take the Trailblazers 8 roll is you guys spend a bunch of time discussing whether you should move forward or not. It slows down your progress. However, there's some delicious soup or stew or something that Kalam'Te
Oh,
has
it's
put
definitely
together.
a stir fry.
It's a
Oh, it's a
cute-
stir fry. Stir fry.
It's a-
I
culinary
used the
masterpiece.
backside of my shield
Nice.
So you're Mongolian
to make like
now.
a walk.
Yes.
Yes, you racist
So you
Haitian.
guys have a delicious meal, probably the best one you've had on the road in a long time. And sitting around talking about these shadows that keep appearing, it slows you down a little. You arrive, and Kalam'Te is very familiar with the terrain now that you are getting closer to his home, the Empire of Amarash. And JJ, if you would, give us a little description of the area you're approaching. Perhaps it's a suburb of Amarash or something like that.
So I mean, we were essentially in the. It's very clear cut leading up to the city. That way, no army can approach without being seen at least 5 miles in any direction. The lower city is essentially all there's a lower city and then there's the high city. Okay. So the lower city is all slums and where the commoners lived. You have to be middle management or above in order to live in the high city.
Middle management.
Middle management.
Do they have a diversity program?
They do not. There are no paths for reaching upwards either. That involves pretty much luck, a la the capitalistic society.
So High City is pretty much Amarash proper.
Yeah.
That's where you would find the Capitol building.
Like
or
the lower
Emperor's
city
Palace.
people still think they're part of Amrash, but really they're just hangers on.
Okay.
You guys are jerks.
It's an empire. You don't have empire without jerks at the top.
Right?
Okay. What is the area you're approaching, the low city? What is the architecture, general look of the area?
It's
'Cause
hovels.
That's what we're going to see
It's
as
hovels,
night's
for
starting
sure.
to fall.
It's very, very typically it's wood and or like mud stone structures.
Okay.
And one of the biggest features of Amarash is a almost like an Eye of Sauron sort of structure, just because it is the arcane focus for the Mage Tower.
And that is in the High City, right?
Yeah, it's in the High City.
So that would be off in the distance.
Yeah,
probably a couple of
but
miles,
it's extremely noticeable, especially when you approach at night because it glows.
So is that building taller than the Emperor's Palace itself?
Yes.
It is, okay.
It is the defining feature of the cityscape.
Okay.
So magic rules above the Emperor here?
Yep.
Ooh, snap.
You got
Or
your
maybe the
microphone off.
Emperor is magical. Who
No, I
knows?
don't.
We'll find out soon, I guess.
Your
Tom,
microphone's
can you hear
really
me
far
now?
away, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Good. As you approach, like I said, night is starting to fall. There's still plenty of light out, but the sun has just gone down behind the city itself, the Empire. And there are trees interspersed around the area. It is not completely barren because they still need some vegetation outside of the city. Now, within the city, in that area, there's a lot of desert and flatlands. So there's just that big hill, pretty much, and everything is situated there. The general area, though, is barren. There are some trees around, and that's where you're approaching from.
And that's something I want to kind of make a note of, too, for Kurt. Like, Elemental Mastery, this feels weird, as if this land is being forced to be green within this desert.
So there.
Magic's happening.
Well, and Truk is already going to be uncomfortable, just a little bit uncomfortable generally, because he prefers mountains and hills and forests and forests. Forests.
That explains part of
It
his
takes
lack
our
of-
voices from us.
To the city. So he's not opposed to city life, but he's just always more wary and nervous. Feels like he has to have his hackles up.
It takes the forests from us.
The again, as you're approaching, some trees off to the side, you hear a voice call out to you. To in general, everyone hears a voice, and it says, "Midi, over here, quick!"
Huh? What?
Who's
Where?
Midi?
And Kalam'Te, you recognize the voice.
Oh, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
voice you haven't heard in about 4 years, since the last time you were in Amarash.
Where's the voice coming
It's
from?
just off to a few trees off to the side.
So I immediately deviate course to go find that voice.
Where the hell's he going?
That's a good question. You're going to follow him?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in my head, there was the disc scratching noise.
Nice. So, Kalam'Te, you recognized.
Yeah.
You recognize this man who he's about 10 years your senior, and he spent a lot of time with you as you were growing up. He helped guide you in your ways, and he was one of the ones that convinced you to go out and start earning for the empire itself. It is Nassan. He's a man probably around 40 or so, and the last time you saw him, he was not as worried as he is now. But he beckons you over to copse of trees, and you notice behind him to the side are a couple of Naga that appear dead on the ground.
Interesting. Did you killed them with your cane?
He says, "Look, this is a bad time for the Empire. You should not be here. I have been trying to warn you to stay away in the ways I could. Cassidy has been corrupting the Emperor. There are things going bad here, and I just stopped these Naga from reporting in.
Good.
Apparently,
good.
they left you recently."
Yeah. A failed, devious scheme.
Devious.
And so Kalam'Te
That's
was
the word that
first
hangs
one.
you up. Devious. Not the failed part.
Because you're wrong.
So Kalam'Te was the first over there, and as everyone else follows him up, Nassan says, "And who is it you're traveling with? Who are these?
These
people?"
are the allies that I have managed to acquire.
Acquire.
Elena just puts her hand over Nessilus's mouth,
That's actually a nice touch.
pats her on the head. With the other hand.
He quickly composes himself.
Truk holds this up and says, "Acquire."
He quickly composes himself. He bows deeply and he says, "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Nasan of the Emperor's Council. Your companion here, Mickie, is a longtime friend of mine."
Who's Mickie?
Oh,
Murder.
Mickie.
My hand is
Isn't he
covering her
cute?
mouth.
Yeah. And he said he readdresses Kalam'Te. I was led to believe that you were only traveling with her, and he indicates Elena.
No. I've accumulated more than that.
Accumulated.
Accumulated.
Everything
She's
is
like fighting
quantity.
there, and then
I point to Truk here, and I said that he has a sword that has been divested of his belongings. He should have the
sword. That special sword.
the sunrises.
What do you
Yeah,
have?
Kurt may have
sandwich.
Kurt,
Dawn's bringer.
What do you
The
have?
sunrises sandwich.
The Dawn bringer.
he has Duck's demise, and then we have the sunrise sandwich.
I had Day of Reckoning.
Yeah, that
Day of
too. So much
There's
for
Duck's Demise.
I feel
Day of
so bad
Reckoning,
for our
and Dawn's Rise.
listeners right now.
Oh, you silly girl. We don't have listeners.
Well, you don't have listeners.
Yeah, so there. All right, so we need to find a place to talk. Out here in the open is not good.
Okay.
And he'll start walking you towards the city. Is there a place you want to go?
Yeah, let's go to the old pub.
The old pub. What was the name of that? I forget. I get to think.
Something ironic because it's in the middle of the desert.
could
so
be
it's
it,
got to be ironic waves or
There you go.
amber waves of sand.
Amber waves of sand. We got it. Huh?
Grain.
Sand.
Just saying.
Great.
Sand.
I know, but it's sand.
So in the low city, it's a tavern attached to a small inn, and it is the Amber Waves of Sand. Yes.
Is the inn called like the Muggy Meadow?
Mountain's Majesty.
Mountain's Majesty.
Yeah.
Nice. There you
But
go.
no, it's that type of pub where the ceilings are lower than they should be.
Yes.
So you kind of have to stoop a little bit. Unless you're short, then you feel right at home, or you feel gigantic, one or the other.
Nice. Nasan quickly walks you in, and he says, "We must remain inconspicuous." He walks you in and moves over to the darkest corner as quick as possible. What?
Okay.
Okay.
What?
And
What is happening?
there's some passing of napkins at the table, and
I'm guessing I have a
concerning
booger.
It makes a difference.
Some husband and wife action going on.
and it has to do
Wipe your
with-
booger, honey.
Yeah,
I love
there
you
you go.
too.
So you get into the darkest corner where there's a table to sit, and Nasan leans over after you order a round of drinks. He leans over towards you and says, "Is it safe to talk amongst your friends here, or should we find a place to talk?"
No, I trust them with my life.
That may very well mean
That's right, because
more
I've
than you
saved it a
know.
couple times.
Shut up, Nestless.
Whatever.
Whatever.
What you say may be more applicable than you know. The Emperor means to take you and the Paladin, and your lives will be forfeit.
What did I do?
You have one of the swords.
Nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh.
So
The only
Truk,
reason the Emperor's eye hasn't fallen on Truk is because he's not managed to
Well-
acquire the sword.
for Truk, I'll just bring up the mention the scroll that was delivered last time.
Mm-hmm.
So it is believed that the keys are people, not swords. So for Nasan at this point, he looks at Kalam'Te curiously and he says, "What swords? What do you mean?"
H.
Heaven.
Hevith.
Yeah,
the blacksmith.
Hevith.
Yes.
Hevith the blacksmith.
Hey.
His ancestors forged 3 swords, and there's a prophecy attached. And we, according to all of our research, have been led to believe that we are the prophesied ones with these swords.
You're the prophesized ones.
So Nassan is still, he doesn't get you. So he's got
So
this weird look on his face.
I undo the sword, ducks demise, and I undo the pommel and show him the scroll that was inside.
Yeah.
And this is the sister sword. And there's a third sword that was styled in the form of katana, I believe. And these three lead to the heart of darkness.
Okay.
By
It's
the
like
power
it's starting
of
to dawn on him what you're talking about, and there's that little glimmer of recognition as he says, "Oh, I think you're mistaken. What we have found, and the Emperor has had us searching endlessly, is that the keys for this prophecy are the pinnacles of might, purity, and serenity. And the Emperor has already captured the sensei from the monastery, and he means to take you as a descendant of Askaranth, and you didn't, that's something new to you, and the last remaining paladin for the purity. And as sacrifices, you will open the entrance to where the Heart of Night is held."
I mean, that plan's already foiled because that girl over there ain't pure.
It's more of a symbolic thing, you see.
Jeez. Call her out, why don't you?
Right?
Now, I don't. Does
You didn't
that?
see
How
the
does that
face
affect
that I
Truk
made.
when he says the Empire has captured the sensei from the monastery? At all?
It means that he's alive. We thought that he had died.
Right. So, yeah.
Alive means there's hope.
So,
Do it.
yeah, I mean, I thought he was either dead or taken by demons. So,
Oh, he was taken by demons. Just demons be working for the dude.
well, exactly. So, I mean, one, it has the implication that, which is not that much of a surprise, but that they may be in cahoots, but two, that, I need to see if I'm able
I guess
to.
my question would be: do you say anything out loud at this point that this guy can react to?
No.
Because it sounds like inside voice.
Yeah, no, it would be
Okay.
inside voice.
Okay.
I'm just sitting with my back to the wall, watching the door.
And he continues. A lot of what we have been told is from the Emperor himself. He has unfortunately, over the time you've been gone, shall we say, gone mad with power. Something is corrupting him. He is not the man he used to be. And in addition to capturing the master of the monastery, he has also captured an old druid and the crazy red wizard. And he has been trying to get information from the red wizard on how to get at the source of power. And the closest he has come so far is how we are currently implementing his plan. But I think-
Nicholas? He's got Nicholas?
Nico,
Go
yes.
Saint.
Nico Saint?
Oh, my worry was
Yes.
because of the druid.
If you ask that, the answer is yes. He does. He has captured them. And
And
he means
Druganov?
to continue using them. I do not know the druid's name, but it is old druid captured from the grove.
We need to go get him.
Druganov, the Wild Walker.
What are we waiting for?
Well, the fact that he's captured these three incredibly powerful people.
Yeah, but we've got the element of surprise
Those
on our
three
side.
incredible single people.
Now, is this
Yeah,
this sounds like character conversation?
Yeah, we've got surprise on our side.
Well, and don't forget that we've got my amazing control of the elements.
Yeah.
So there's
About
Bach,
that.
Druga,
The elements
and,
here are
the
already
rest of us
strained
do.
to their breaking points. I don't know if you want to add any more stimuli to that.
That sounds like it puts him in his element.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
I do know that your specialty is breaking things.
After listening to you guys with your thoughts, Nassan says he keeps directing to his old friend Kalam'Te. He says, "Midi, you cannot approach this the way that she is saying," pointing at Nessalus.
Who's this MIDI person? What's your real name?
You know the power of the Emperor's guards. You know what the protection is of the Empire. You cannot just go in and try to claim a
No,
prize
brute
from
force will not win this day.
you may. There is tomorrow to be a demonstration in the market, the bazaar. Was it the bazaar? Up in the high city. Perhaps you should go there and learn what is coming next. The Emperor has not described to anyone what this demonstration is.
Have you secured passes for us so that we can pass the gates without notice?
Yes, we can get you in. You have to go to the East Gate.
Okay.
There are those who are still loyal to not having madness rule the Empire.
All right.
And they are few and far between, but we've been able to station them at strategic points. I still serve the Emperor openly, and I will be there at his side tomorrow at the demonstration.
Do we need disguises?
Nessalus.
No.
I have an idea.
Foreign is
I'm all ears.
good enough for the disguise.
What you got?
You can change what you look like.
Yes.
You be Elena. They're not expecting a magic user.
Oh, they're not.
So she wants you to be sacrificed. That's pretty cool.
Right.
Nice. And you're definitely not pure. And then when the plan doesn't work for them, they'll go. They'll
Wait.
No, we're not expecting
Wait.
Yeah.
It's not time for marital counseling. Let's stay in character. Are you saying Nestle is
I
not
could.
pure?
You know, right? What the hell are you talking
know,
about?
right?
Smitty, or whatever the hell your real name is.
Smitty.
Smitty. Nice.
I like this plan.
Nestle,
So I pretend to be you.
MIDI is short for calamity, right?
Shut up.
God damn it.
Syllables.
Now, I want at this point, I want to let you guys go about what you're going to do. So Nassan is going to say, "Look, I must return to the Emperor before
No,
he
go
expects
make your
anything,
plans.
or before he suspects anything. I must return to him. I will try to find out what this demonstration is tomorrow, and if I can get word to you, I will. When we came in, I signaled over to the innkeeper, and they have reserved rooms for you here at Mountain's Majesty that is connected. So please make yourselves at home, but make sure you're there tomorrow." And as he walks away, he looks directly at Calamity and says, "The Empire may be depending on you." And he quickly walks away.
No pressure.
No. Before he leaves, we
Yeah.
do the old bro bump.
the old handshake.
bro bump.
Yeah.
Chapata.
So mature.
Do you have a chest bump in full plate?
Oh yeah.
So mature.
Okay, so now you guys are
Don't be
left to
jelly.
go about your conversation. This is now character party time to figure out how you want to approach this. You've got some new information, some interesting things perhaps to talk about.
Do I still
Can he
have
be trusted?
clothes that can change to look like different things?
It was glamored armor that you got? Yeah,
Yep.
we'll say that. You can dress any way you want by thought.
Okay.
It's probably the easiest way to put it.
So Kalam'Te, Smitty, whatever your name is.
MIDI.
It's now Smitty. Forget about it. Can this dude be
Nice.
trusted?
Yes, with my life.
Okay.
Man, you trust a lot of people with your
Is
life.
there cream soda in there still?
You remember...
Only when they prove themselves to me.
Yeah, so Calamity remembers Nassan looking much younger. I mean,
for sure.
just 4 years ago, he looked like he was in his 30s, and when you just saw him, he looked like he could have been ready to retire. He is definitely not doing well.
So he pulled an Obama.
You pulled an Obama.
In 4 years, yeah.
You pulled,
So, yeah, go ahead with your plans. Your devious failed plans.
Brute force will not win this.
Fine. So what
what are your
about
thoughts?
Elena's plan of dressing me up
yes.
like Elena?
And letting you get
You-
sacrificed.
I won't get
She wants to play
sacrificed.
dress up.
You can look like Elena, and I can dress up as a common folk person. I don't know what I was saying.
A common person?
Like a townsperson.
A townsperson?
Like a non-Elena.
I want to fit in.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done that before. You passed yourself off as Elena when you were really someone else.
Alyssa.
Alyssa.
Yeah. Although they didn't know that she was someone else. That they just knew her as that person the whole time.
I mean, people weren't trying to sacrifice me then.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
But
Do
yeah,
we
I do
still have
experience
that?
Nessalus,
that
do you have
paper? The scroll?
do you have some means of obfuscating her aura?
No.
Is it in here? No.
So yeah, keep talking. I'll find it electronically and I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
I never got that one electronically, to be fair.
Oh.
And
Oh.
wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more.
That
is
way, you know, if they're searching for
So-
Elena magically, that
I can attempt to dispel magic or maybe mask her aura. But for that, I will
Wait,
need some
I found it.
ingredients.
Okay.
What
Hand
ingredients?
that to Kurt.
And I need an eye of newt.
Fair enough.
Gingrich?
An eye of newt Gingrich. A tail feather from the Trump bird.
Good God.
And
we're
the
gonna make
crack from the burn.
So this is a conservative potion that you're making. Okay.
Well, then we're adding a little bit of burn there too.
We
so.
have to add a little burn to
Okay.
even it out.
I heard the Trump bird is huge, and it's always winning.
Always winning.
It has
And
small
really,
hands.
really racist.
It has small
really-
hands, though.
It's the best bird there ever was, though. For
Kurt,
sure.
I wanted to make
Especially
sure you
when
had
you
that
flip it.
because
Women love him.
some of the information that they're acting on in the Empire is the same kind of information that you have there.
Right.
So that scroll that Elena delivered to Truk last time, that information
back of the
is
griffin.
relevant to what's going on now. That's why I want to make sure we had it on the table. So definitely read through it again, and if it inspires any thoughts based on what you've heard, go ahead and throw those out. So continue with your plan. I'll give you some time to talk before we wake up the next morning to
So
see what
the plan is to
demonstration
acquire these ingredients and perform a ritual to obfuscate.
Can't you just say mask?
No, because we're hiding in plain sight, which is literally what obfuscate means.
You're such a jerk.
I'm
All right,
just saying.
so I'm doing this
I can't
ritual.
tell if they're in character right now.
It's close enough.
Close enough. This is every day.
So here's what we're going to do then. We're calling this a ritual. So you have your ingredients. Describe to me how you're starting to put it together and what's going to happen so that I can give you some conditions to work with.
Wait, you
I
just
must-
have the Trump bird?
Well,
the Trump bird is native to.
I thought that was going to be a whole side quest.
well, there's a big wall around this city, so
There
this this is where we would find the Trump bird.
You see.
The Trump bird tends to nest in large cities are powerful and surrounded by big
By a wall.
walls.
Huh.
Yeah.
Was the wall paid for by the people to the south of
It
Everett?
was
Absolutely, they built
was
it
paid for the
first.
people by the lower city.
This is horrible. So, in order to perform this ritual, I must first cleanse myself.
Okay.
Good luck.
Is this prestidigitation?
No, no. Like I need to go old school with this, so I
Okay.
need pure soap. The pure soap that they have in town in the area. I need clean
You're probably not going
water.
to find it in this tavern.
I found
Not
some.
Apparently,
Amber.
I'm pretty pure. I could just rub myself on you.
I found some baby oil made from real babies.
Yeah, that's pure.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty.
The babies have been juiced.
Are there tears of bibis in there? Tears of the first cry. Okay,
what
so I
you
must
can
cleanse
do,
myself first.
Calamity knows of at least one shaman in this area
Oh,
that
for
could
sure.
probably supply you with this place of power that you need first for the ritual. So if the player of JJ can describe that nicely, then you'll have your place of power.
This guy is a total nut as far as incense, so don't let your eyes burn.
Oh no! Go ahead.
This guy.
I like where it's going. but
this
go
guy
ahead.
again.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I mean, it's draped with like rabbit fur and the doorway, so it's a hovel. It's a small hut even, and the furs are inside. The furs line all the walls. There's beaver pelts.
There's beaver pelts everywhere.
There's
Nice.
rabbits.
Okay.
Do I get to roll around?
Are we
Maybe,
Wrong character.
referencing something?
but
Go ahead.
what's wrong?
Are you referencing something?
Earlier
The first game you guys
episodes.
played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember something about beaver pelts before.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, it's very dark and damp even because it doubles as a sweat lodge when it's not being used to burn incense.
Fantastic.
So Nessalus, the power that's there when you walk in, this power is
It
it's
feels
elemental.
like it's an old evil god
Yeah.
has nested in this hovel.
So I
It
feel-
doesn't feel like the magic you're used to.
So it's
This
not
is magic of beings, not magic of magic. Right?
Magic of
this is
magic.
coming from something old, something used, something.
What was the name of that evil god from way back when?
I can't remember which. Are you talking about one that we actually had, or you just want to make one up?
No, the one we actually had that Strong Dawn merged with.
Yeah.
Where we went into the
Oh,
void.
Hazara.
Hazara, yeah.
Yes.
So it's the old spirit of Hazara.
That's the power that resides in this sweat hovel.
So is it evil? So I'm like,
It's power.
It's
That's
just
what
power?
you
It's
need to
power.
work
It's
with.
pure raw power.
so I walk in and I'm like, this feels good.
You know it is corruptive, however. This
I
is
know.
not
That's
a
it's like.
good
So she's
power.
like stretching, Brit, like, oh, this feels really good. She's getting a little like drunk with the power.
So
and then
with this, you feel, and this is one of your conditions, in order to use this power, you realize you must perform an action against your nature sometime in the next day. Whenever you're thinking, I should do that, you should do the opposite at least one time to show homage to the evil power that you are pulling forth.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so that's one of your conditions.
I must go against my nature.
Yes,
You got to nurture your inner bad girl.
because by default,
Or good girl.
Oh, good
actually.
girl.
by default, I believe throughout this campaign, Nessalus has done things on the side of good, not on the side of bad. Domination aside, even then it's been
That was
towards
good.
the good.
Oh,
Right.
domination can be really good.
Exactly. It can be seen typically as a bad thing to force someone to do something against their will, but you're always doing it for
the greater
positive.
good.
Yeah.
It's all the Machiavelli in me.
There you go. So now finish with the ritual pieces.
So this is like I imagine there's somewhere that she can wash herself and just cleanse herself and get
The shaman
centered.
kind of sits in the corner and watches you wash yourself.
Dirty old man.
Light another incense.
Take a picture; it'll last you longer. Light some more incense.
Yeah.
So she,
Heavy
gets
breathing.
sick bastard. So she has to begin her ritual. She needs a bowl,
Yeah.
and in this bowl she places the eye of Nukenrich,
Yeah.
the tail feather from the trump bird,
Okay.
some crack off the burn. She grinds it all down with the pestle
Okay.
and makes like a paste.
Okay.
And she's done her little incantation. Ah, Sabena, benissimo. I can't think of anything
That's
else to say.
perfect. You're in a shaman's hut,
You know?
channeling evil power. Yes.
So she's focused on disruption
The
because that's
circle.
of life.
yeah.
So as she's grinding this paste, she's focused on disruption because that's what she wants this paste to do once she smears it all over Elena.
Okay.
So
Paste
once
smear.
she's done the paste smear,
Yeah.
she calls Elena in. It says, Elena,
Pretend you're a bagel.
assume the bagel position.
Yeah.
And she smears it over her eyes,
Okay.
like over her face, and over her chakra points.
Okay.
So
Cool.
There's like three
there's
here.
three here, the six,
Yeah,
the
this
center
is
one.
still an audio podcast.
Yeah.
You're pointing at yourself.
Yeah, I am. Right.
Yeah.
The
So
ladies are all touching their chakras.
we know the chakras, like the
the
third
girls
eye.
are funneling their boobs. That's
The
pretty much what I
third
gotta
eye.
go with.
Well, the six chakras. That's where
Okay.
she applies the paste and says, "You are now obfuscated."
There you go.
Hey, there's a word you haven't used before in your life.
Now, what
Fuck off, Dick.
the end result?
Oh, be careful! You're gonna earn Nessalus's opprobrium.
The end result, I believe, that was for Elena to look like a native, right?
Yes.
So, as far as you're concerned, she might as well have been the waitress that came around, the serving wench, or she was the woman that you walked past as you entered Lowtown. She is so inconspicuous that you wouldn't know it until you tripped over.
Awesome.
She is not the person that was there when you put the paste on. Done.
Don't take the pasties off.
Yeah. And you get this feeling in your head that says, if you do not fulfill your end of the bargain, the illusion will drop immediately.
Fair enough. So I must remember to go
Yes.
against my nature at least once.
Yes, and it is Hazara speaking to you now.
So I reply, I
Yeah.
understand. I will try. No, do or do not. There is no try.
Yes, and that guy, the creepy guy in the corner, breathing heavy. What is after seeing this? After seeing some magic pulled from his area, how does he react to this when they're ready to leave?
He lights a lot of incense to try to dispel all the creepy magic that was just performed.
Okay, cool. And then from there, what I want to do, unless anyone has any other ideas, we're going to go back to the inn to sleep it off for the night. And I'd like to do a quick, I guess, however quick we can do it. I want to do a quick end of session / level up. We're not going to worry about the experience pieces from end of session, but I do want to talk about it. I want to talk about essentially stuff that's happened through several of the recent recordings. Maybe we'll go back 10 or 12 episodes or something like that. But we're going to do this. I'll read it out. When we reach an end of a session, we're going to call that this here. Choose one of your bonds that you think is resolved. So let's take a look at bonds. And JJ, why don't you start with the one you had, and you and Kurt can talk about that.
Yeah, so the one I had was, I respect the beliefs of Truk, but hope they will one day see the true way.
Now, what I would say, from what I heard of Calamity's version of this, he thinks he has shown you the true way. Maybe the bond isn't to make you live the true way, but to show it.
Yeah, and Truk has embraced, why teach a man to fish when you can charge a man a fish?
And then you get paid every day.
Yes, and that's why he bought the ocean, so that he could charge people to fish.
Meanwhile, Truk is trying to make Calamity see that money is not everything.
Yeah.
And had thought that perhaps...
Truk had a position of power.
Okay.
He had a position of power, and he capitalized on it.
Truk had a position of power and never expected to get paid $1 million gold, because Calamity certainly does not have that.
Oh, I know, he does.
Not yet.
But made the point that sometimes
Yeah.
you need something that even money can't buy, and that friendship, love, and devotion are more important than what one will receive in return.
You were fucking with him, and he thinks you're serious.
Right.
Yep.
So if you have $1 million,
short.
then the number should have been $100 million. That was
There
my
you
point.
go. But I think the important part here is you guys were looking at the bonds and doing something about it.
Yep.
Perfect. Nessilis, Elena, anything in there that you'd like to talk about under bonds?
I didn't meet any of them.
What do you think about what's there?
Well, Kalam'Te is keeping an important secret from me. I've always thought that.
And you know that?
I mean, it was just Mitty.
Yeah. That was it.
That was it.
His nickname.
Nickname.
He never mentioned his nickname. Interesting. Elena?
So that's the important secret. Just Smitty.
Truk is often the butt of my jokes.
I mean, Kurt is the butt of most of our
That's
jokes,
true.
but
That is
Truk,
definitely
I don't
true.
know.
That's true.
But I don't know that Truk has been. Although, all of his failures with the elements, I think he's probably taken a firm ribbing in game.
So, I would not have succeeded on my bond. I'm just thinking of in Dungeon World, because mine is, Calamity is greedy, but I will make him generous like me.
Yeah.
I haven't succeeded at that, even though I've tried.
But and that's where, in Dungeon World, in system terms, you would be talking about, is he more generous than he used to be? It doesn't necessarily need to be as generous as you, but did you make him more generous? Like when you first met him, he sold you guys out to the pirates, essentially, right? To make more money. And would he still do the same thing? Maybe he's more
When did that
generous
happen?
now.
The South Sea Pirates,
Yeah.
when they attacked.
Oh, that was all of us.
Yes.
Yeah. So then let's talk about a couple of these other pieces before we wrap up. Alignment. Did anybody feel like over the last several sessions you did something that fit your alignment?
For sure. I endangered myself to protect someone weaker than I.
There you go. And that could be a generous thing, by the way.
Right, I definitely did. Even though I think of Truk as, in D&D terms, a good character, I think he's actually neutral in this respect because he's really focused on balance.
Yeah.
And so I have him as a neutral character. And under the fighter, that would be defeat a worthy opponent. Okay. And under the druid, it would be eliminate an unnatural menace. And we've been kind of doing both of those every...
I would agree to that. What do you think, Mickie? Your alignment?
Well, mine is neutral. Discover something about a magical mystery. So
You just
thinking
smeared
back
some weird
to
stuff on
just
me.
smeared worse stuff on you.
I think
But the
also-
whole when you were in a coma and that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would almost interpret that to be you're using magic to discover mysteries as well. Right? I think that would fit. I like
The
that.
mysteries of my diary.
What you got, Lena?
I got to glue it down.
Perform your art to aid someone else.
And that just happened? I'm trying to think. You've been inspiring in the past as well, but it just happened to help Truk with his get down into the hole to save Calamity.
I don't think Truk needs any help getting into holes.
Not necessarily. And then
Truk is often the butt of my jokes, but
we will we'll address these questions kind of quick. Did we learn something new and important about the world? The answer, of course, is yes. But let's talk a little bit. What neat stuff have we learned? Now, I know we're making a lot up as we go.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Yeah.
We've learned that Calamity has a great nickname.
There you go.
Smitty. We learned that the sensei's still alive.
Sensei's still alive.
Yeah.
That there is perhaps a misunderstanding, either on our side or on their side, about what the keys are,
Yeah.
which is something we should talk about at the beginning of the next session.
Yeah.
There's something amiss in this town, and that the Emperor may be under undue influences.
Mm-hmm. Constantly.
Yeah, the Emperor is being manipulated
Medusa
or driven to madness.
12.0.
And that the land is being drained of life.
Mm-hmm.
The land is under strain.
How about notable monsters or enemies over the last several sessions? Anybody think of things? I'm going to say Kraken. You guys killed a Kraken.
We did kill Kraken.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we are awesome.
Yeah.
We
You
wiped.
weren't here for that. You were
I was
sleeping.
riding a griffin.
Yeah.
We weased the Kraken.
Yeah, that was good.
Anything else? Any other notable? It's almost like notable combats is one way to interpret.
I mean,
it, but
we defeated darkness.
that's right. at the
Yeah, we did
monastery.
defeat the dark.
I think
the
that was
monastery.
it Calamity who was the lightning rod with his plate armor.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that and the bowling are pretty
That
epic.
and the bowling.
Cool. And then any memorable treasure, the swords being an obvious thing. Anything else that like something your character carries with them that is memorable?
Oh yeah, Wylena.
There you go. She's memorable. for sure.
She's a very memorable treasure.
Calamity would have sheared the beak off of the Kraken
Okay.
and kept that as a treasure.
Cool. All right. That's
Truk
definitely
also has an IOU for 1 million gold pieces.
That is definitely a
good treasure.
Cool. All right, from there, we're going to wrap up this session of Adventures from the Shed, and we'll pick up with, as Kurt mentioned, we'll talk about some of the discrepancies in her story right now as we get ready for our next one. For now, we'll say...
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Penis.
We end this episode with an end-of-session move, which we hadn't done in quite some time. It gave us a chance to review some things that have happened recently in Alamand. We'll pick up next time with the Empire of Emiraj. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.